I don't know it. I like to be around.
Oh my goodness.
And now we're gonna get into Horny Creek. Hello, everyone. It's Horny Creek time. My name's Mark. With me, as always, is your female host, Carol.
Hey, what's up?
Hey, it's I don't know. It's been a week, I guess.
Well, it hasn't been a week. It's only been a few days, really.
I don't know what that means, but since we've talked, I guess
since we released an episode.
I guess it depends on how. I guess it depends on how many people actually, listen to, like what you listen to. Whether you listen to all of them, whether you listen to some of them.
It's true.
You know what I'm talking about.
Yeah. But
it's February 4th. 1998.
I can't believe we're already into February.
February.
So crazy.
How do you spell February? It's with an R, right?
Uh-huh.
But it's F-E-B-R-U-R or R-U-A-R-Y?
R-U-A-R-Y.
February.
Uh-huh. But you don't say February, you say February.
Why?
Because English is a ridiculous language with all kinds of silent letters in the words.
You know what's ridiculous? Dawson's Creek.
Yeah, this episode, they were all pretty ridiculous.
A Prelude to a Kiss is the name of this episode. Because everybody kisses everybody in this episode. Because it's Horny Creek.
It is Horny Creek.
Can I say something?
Say all the things.
I noticed a couple things off the bat. But first of all, I have to say... Dawson is insufferable. This is our main character. At one point, he's in the film class, and he's like, there's a formula to this, guys. We have to root for the main character. He's got to be like an underdog or whatever. And it's like, you are a jackass. I root for a lot of people in this show that aren't you, Dawson. What are you're looking at me crazy. He's sitting there next to Joey, condescending to her about movies and romance and stuff like that. Like he knows anything about it, which he doesn't.
Correct.
And he's like, "Oh, you can have that. I'm a wild-eyed romantic. I'm a big-eyed romance guy." And she's like, "One day you're gonna want to kiss somebody or whatever," and she wants to kiss him. Like he's so fucking dense.
Yeah, he is an idiot.
And then later he's in the class and can't keep his fucking mouth shut. He's on the set of this movie. And yeah, maybe the movie sucks, but he is constantly denigrating everything that they're doing, all these people are doing to try to make a film. And the producer rightly calls him out. She's like, I worked all summer on this fucking script and you're just going to shit on it. Like, you're an asshole. And he is an asshole. See,
I mean, I get what you're saying, but I really feel like, there's a whole other side to this where, she's a bitch. Because she goes out of her way to, put him down, exclude him, be mean and condescending to him all the time.
That didn't start until he started ripping apart her movie.
I guess, but I mean, she's irritated because he's there and he didn't work to get there because he's not an upperclassman. Get over yourself. He's there. Deal with that.
I'm not saying that she's not a bitch, but he's very hard to root for.
And you said after he was done going off about her movie and, she's like, aren't, saying something in front of the teacher, like, aren't you going to do something or whatever? And you're like, but he knows he's right. So you even said that when we were watching it. Dawson was right with what he said.
Yes, but being right doesn't give you the permission to be an asshole. He's kind of an asshole about it. And he was going to fucking film him and Jen. I mean...
Well, that's fucked up. That's a whole other issue.
Yeah. We'll get to that, but...
But I mean, aren't all directors kind of dicks? In my experience,
we have a wide cadre of our audience that are directors.
Do we really?
And I hope not English teachers, based on the fucking sentence I just said.
Goodness. No, I mean, like, not saying they're, like, terrible people, but, I mean, I think you have to be, just like I feel like most doctors are kind of dicks, too. You have to be a little full of yourself to take on certain positions.
Yeah.
And being a director is one of those positions.
Why don't you just say that to Stanley Kubrick?
Okay. Stanley Kubrick is probably full of himself.
Wow.
I mean, don't you think?
Why don't you say that to Alfred Hitchcock?
Sure, hon.
You can't, he's dead.
Do you disagree?
I think that many directors are full of themselves in one way or another, but I don't think that you can say that about every director.
Yeah, maybe not. I mean, there's always exceptions to any rule.
I mean, Quentin Tarantino certainly doesn't seem as if he's full of himself. I'm just joking.
Good, because I was going to have to ask if you lost your damn mind.
Spielberg, is one of those where I don't know that he's necessarily full of himself, but he probably does understand that he knows best when it comes to making movies.
But I mean, you want somebody who knows they know best to be in charge of things.
But he's not in charge of things right now. And that's what he needs to realize. Just because he makes fucking, Spielberg didn't start out at he made 8mm home films when he was a little kid in his backyard and shit, like Dawson's doing, right? He didn't and then he went to film school and stuff and learned some shit. He didn't just step onto a fucking movie set and was like, "Here I am, god of movies,"
right?
And we're talking about someone as talented as Steven Spielberg. You have to work your way up.
For sure.
He's a PA. Act like a PA.
Yeah. But I mean, he did have good suggestions. He made their movie better. Like with the camera thing.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Well, she was being dumb. They were both being dumb. But they don't know how to make a movie. That's fine. But I'm just saying there's ways he could do it where he's not being an asshole.
Agreed.
He's kind of insufferable to listen to. Because he's a know-it-all, and he's just one of those people that's relentlessly chipper and stuff, and he's insufferable.
That is annoying. Yeah, he reminds me of that Scrappy Doo or whatever.
Right. Puppy power. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what he wanted to be like with that quarterback. Let me at him.
Right.
But yeah. So it starts with, as we said, with Dawson and Joey in his room watching From Here to Eternity with Deborah Kerr and Burt Lancaster, whatever.
And he starts talking about how anybody can have a moment like this, they just have to make it happen.
Mm-hmm.
Which, that's an annoying perspective.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah. And then, he proceeds to, later, try to set up his own romance.
Mm-hmm.
Because, now, first of all, I don't really...
Well, so does Joey, sort of.
Yeah, that's true. She took his advice, I guess.
Before you get too far, because it sounds like you're going away from the scene of them in the room, yeah. I want to point out, on the wall, he has a poster of Misery. And it does not fit. Every other poster is a Steven Spielberg poster. This can't be an oversight. I can't imagine it's an oversight.
Maybe whoever was buying the posters got confused between Stephen King and Steven Spielberg.
Well, Rob Reiner directed that movie. Spielberg had nothing to do with it. Spielberg didn't even produce that movie.
Or, like I said when we were watching it, perhaps Dawson just happens to like a movie that wasn't made by Spielberg.
And he can, but they established that every poster on his wall is a Spielberg movie.
You're right.
Every single other poster is. It doesn't make sense.
Good for you for noticing it, though.
I also noticed, I forgot to mention when we did the pilot, that Steve Miner directed the pilot, who directed the second Friday the 13th movie. At least I don't think I mentioned it.
I don't know.
But Kevin Williamson took inspiration from Friday the 13th Part 6, Jason Lives for his Scream movies. So,
Okay.
just the kind of meta wink at the audience sort of thing. Because it did that. Stop looking at me confused. Just nod in agreement. Everyone in the
Nobody
audience
can see
knows what I'm talking about.
Nobody but you can see me. I don't understand.
But anyway, Steve Miner is also a producer on the show, so I thought that was interesting that they have some kind of working relationship.
That is interesting.
All right, go ahead.
So, how do you want to do this? Because, like, you're like, oh, you're moving too far away. Like, do you want to go step by step here? Because
No. I could see that you wanted to talk based on your rocking back and forth and not caring about what I was talking about with Steve Miner and everything. I saw exactly what was going on. So go ahead and talk, and I will chip in my stupid little chucklehead comments like I usually do. Sorry, I had something to contribute to the episode.
I want you to contribute. What the heck? Anyway, I don't understand what Dawson was doing when later in the episode he sets up at this like place with the fountain on the lake and all that. Stop blaming me like that.
What am I looking at?
You know what you're doing. And he brings Jen there and he tells her this whole romantic story about like, oh, this guy's wife got sick and she liked grease, so he brought grease to her. And what?
It sounded like grease made her sick for a second. This guy's wife got. He tells her this really romantic story. This guy's wife got sick. She liked grease. He bought her Kentucky Fried Chicken franchises.
No.
She loved to travel. Greece was her favorite destination. But then she got sick and she couldn't travel anymore. So he decided to bring Greece to her.
So he built this amazing, beautiful place.
Right, which looks like Greece.
And I don't understand.
In the middle of Massachusetts.
Right. Why Dawson needs that for his movie, especially because supposedly it's supposed to be the Beast's lair or whatever.
Yeah.
They haven't shot anything there yet.
Well, you would assume, you would presume that they have not. No, because it hasn't been brought up before, but they really should have.
Yeah, I mean, maybe they have and we just don't know.
Yeah.
I guess that makes more sense. But it was just weird. And then he just brings Jen there. And I'm thinking, okay, so he wants to film the thing for the end credits, like he said, but he lied. He's a liar with a filthy, bad plan.
Oh, my God, okay.
Because like you said, he set her up. He had the camera going. So, he's like, oh, it was perfect. It was great. And then he's, like, going to kiss her. But the camera's still going. And she's like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
Because he's a pervert.
Do you think that's what was he trying to do? Because I don't think he planned on having sex with her.
No. But I think he wanted to catch his first kiss on film. He saw an opportunity to do it, and he wanted to have it on film so that he could, go back and dissect it. Yep, and have it forever.
It's so fucking weird.
Yeah, he's such a freak.
And you're defending him.
Huh?
You're defending him.
Not right now, I'm not.
But I'm saying, I was talking about how insufferable he is.
Yeah, well, earlier I'm saying there were points, okay? There were some points that he had.
Sure.
I don't think that we throw all of Dawson out with the bathwater.
He is a baby.
But I think this is really crazy and creepy. Do you think that's the whole reason? Like, he was setting up his romantic scene and that he didn't really need to film that at all?
No, I think they do mention, because he tells Pacey and Joey that's what he's doing, that he needs to get the final shot of the film there or whatever, and talks about how romantic it is and all this stuff. And they're like, oh, in the best place to seduce young Jen, or, you know how they talk.
Oh, yeah.
And so I think it was a two birds with one stone sort of situation.
Okay.
But I do think he didn't necessarily need. But what I think is funny is he's like, I need this for the end credits, and then it's a close-up. We don't see the rest of the sanctuary. It's a close-up of her looking sad and forlorn with some lace behind her. You could have shot that anywhere.
Anywhere. Exactly.
I'm like, he was like, okay, done. That's a print. And I'm like, have you ever heard of coverage? Like, what the fuck? Are you gonna shoot anything else? You want a wide shot of where she is? You want any kind of establishing shot? Do you want to do anything else?
Yeah, it was weird. That's why I questioned the validity of the whole thing, because he didn't seem like he was properly filming anything.
Although apparently, from what we find out later, this is quite the let's go and have some fun place.
Well, I mean, to those who are aware of it, like him and his buddy.
Right. Who, by the way, should also have known that he was going to be there. Because he said he was going to be there.
It was much later, though, because, it was getting dark.
Yeah, I guess that's true.
So, I mean, it was still a risk, though, I agree.
Yeah.
But I think...
Risk I wouldn't have taken.
Right. I think, though, he just assumed that Dawson would be done by then.
Yeah, I guess.
But, yeah, so, speaking of Pacey...
Okay.
He is still...
Do you think Pacey's short for something?
No. Do you?
So you think that his parents just decided to name him Pacey?
Yeah.
Wow.
You don't?
I don't know. But, like, I don't know why you'd name your child Pacey.
Well, there are lots of names I don't understand why people would name their child.
I mean, because Joey is short for Josephine. Whatever.
Right.
Josephine's a normal name.
Right. Well, Dawson's not very normal.
That her criminal father gave her. Every time you move in that chair, it's like someone's knocking at the door.
I'm sorry. We need to get better chairs. I can't sit completely still.
You have been asking for better chairs forever.
Well, no, we got better chairs. That's the thing. We started in metal folding chairs.
Oh, I remember.
And now we have padded,
the
computer chairs.
Yeah, they're good chairs. They're they're called office chairs or desk chairs.
But, we use them a lot, and so they're getting creaky.
Well, mine's fine.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is. Look, I'm moving. That's not on the tape.
What the fuck? Why is my chair moving and yours is not? Wait, see? There's no sound. It's just the way you move. It's because what I do is I push down on it, and then I let it back up, and that's what makes the sound.
Well, then stop it.
I will try.
What were we talking about? Pacey's name.
Yeah.
Why would you name someone Pacey? I don't understand.
I don't know. I mean, I don't think it's short for anything. We should get one of those baby name books and check it out. It should be, though.
It should be short for Pacino. Like Al Pacino.
Or maybe he has a whole different name and Pacey's just like a nickname because,
Peter.
Paces. I don't know.
Yeah, that's... He got it when he was a toddler, when he was starting to walk. That kid just paces.
He's Pacey. Yeah, I don't know. It's a weird name. But anyways,
maybe he's a fan of Kevin Spacey.
Okay.
And they used to call him S. Pacey, but then they dropped the S.
What?
I don't know.
You're so weird.
Go ahead.
He is continuing to pursue Ms. Jacobs.
Tamara.
And he asks her to tutor him.
Yeah. Because she said you've got another prime number on a test. And it was 23.
Yeah.
But it's there are good prime numbers, sort of. There are, 73, I think, is a prime number. And that's, an average score anyway. And then we got 91 prime.
Sure. I have no idea what the definition of a prime number is. So.
What?
I don't.
I'm
not. God. Math is not my thing.
Well, obviously. A prime number is a number that's only divisible by 1 and itself.
Okay. So, yeah. I mean, she wasn't super clear by saying that. Which is why he said, is it a prime number because it was so prime or whatever.
Yeah, I don't know. He said something stupid.
But yeah,
a steak or something, he says.
He's not just failing her class, though. She says he's failing all the classes. She's heard the teachers talking about him. Yeah. How bad do you have to be that you hear the teachers talking about him?
You're the talk of the teacher's lounge.
Right.
You know that fucking moron Pacey? Who named him, too?
Right? He sure seems horny.
Right?
But she agrees to tutor him, which is a stupid thing to do.
Yeah. If she really is trying to resist this so much, she keeps putting herself in positions where it's difficult to resist.
Do you think she's really trying though?
Apparently not.
Yeah. So they meet in her classroom at 6:00, which is kind of late too, by the way, to be meeting
after the school day, right?
Right. And she tells him, because he hasn't read the book, if he reads the first 2 chapters, and
Ethan Frome. They're reading Ethan Frome.
Yeah.
Talk about boring.
I don't know that book.
It's a book by Edith Wharton.
Okay.
It's dumb.
Cool.
Edith Wharton's a great writer, was a great writer, but it's not. I don't find it interesting.
So he has to read the first 2 chapters and answer her questions, and then she'll give him positive reinforcement. It's what she says to him.
Right. She heavily implies oral.
I don't know what exactly she was implying, but it was definitely sexual in nature.
Yeah.
She apparently didn't know either, because when he finally did read the 2 chapters and answered her questions and wanted his reward, she was like, oh, I didn't think you'd actually do it.
Right.
But, I think she has a fantasy in her brain, and she got, it all set up, and then she was just like, ooh, I shouldn't do that. Yeah, I'm sure she had things.
For sure. And then, she wanted to do the Billy Madison thing where he gets a question right and she takes off an article of clothing.
Right.
But then she's like, he's coming onto her and everything, and she's like, fine, all right, let's do it. She's like, right here on my desk, and, come on, drop your pants and all this stuff. And she's like, I think she's trying to get him to back down.
Yeah, I think she was being, sarcastic, or definitely...
Yeah.
She was trying to freak him out.
I think so.
It didn't seem genuine.
No.
But
then she's like, come on, it's not like it's your first time. And he's like, it is. And he gets all, shy and, can't look at her and stuff like that.
How would she know it is, though? He's been coming onto her hardcore, all the time. And it's not, he's young, but you don't just assume necessarily he's a virgin.
Yeah, he could be another Al Calavici. You don't know.
Right.
But she's like, I think at that point she realizes, oh, this 19-year-old actor is 15.
And she says, go home, Pacey, and starts buttoning her blouse back up.
Right.
Come on, lady. That's the thing, though. She was unbuttoning her blouse. She's like, do you have condoms? We'll need condoms. But, it wasn't in, a normal way.
No.
It was in a I'm fucking with you way.
Yeah, I think so.
I don't think she had any intention of sleeping with him.
I don't think so.
Which makes me wonder what happened between that and the end of the show.
They don't tell us, but...
Because
end of the episode.
Things had to happen.
Show's still going to go on, we assume.
Right.
Although, who knows? They might get angry letters.
Because of the storyline where, a student is all over his teacher?
Well, not only that. But no, so at the end of the episode, to finish off his storyline, somebody comes. Well, somebody arrives, then comes. And Dawson's like, we got to hide. Well, first of all, he was like, I don't know, I'm building up this kiss in my head and everything, and this all becomes a big thing. It's Dawson being Dawson.
Right, and he's like, I just wanted it to be perfect. Yeah. So I got it all set up so it'd be perfect. And Jen's like, it's too much pressure.
Right.
And what if I disappoint you? And he's like, couldn't happen.
Right, idiot. So, she could throw up in his mouth.
Right.
That wouldn't disappoint you, Dawson? So, they hide, and then they kiss. It's one of those situations where it's like, oh, it's just organically happening.
Yeah, which was fine. And it was not perfect because it was in a gross place. They were hiding somewhere with cobwebs.
No, they kissed on the lips.
No.
They were in a gross place.
Yeah, she said it smelled and there was cobwebs, and then they just start making out. So,
right. But we see behind them a couple in a tryst.
They are also making out.
And the camera's still rolling.
And
filming them.
It's Miss Jacobs.
And
Pacey.
They fucked.
on camera because they don't know there's a camera because they didn't take a minute to look around.
Right.
Like 1 minute to look around and notice that there's a camera. Like, what the fuck?
And why wouldn't you? If you knew your friend was filming there, why wouldn't you look around a little bit to see if there was any evidence they were still there?
Right? Like, there might have been car. Well, I guess they can't drive. They must have taken the boat. I don't know how they got there.
I don't know.
Because they're 15.
I don't know how they travel around the creek.
Well, it mostly seems like on foot and via boat.
All right. Foot and boat.
But I mean, like Joey got in her sister's car earlier. Some of the adults drive places.
Sure. Presumably. I wouldn't imagine it's like Mackinac Island where there's no cars. Just horses and shit. And horse shit.
So, Pacey had sex with his teacher.
Yeah, good for him.
What in the actual fuck? Like, what is happening? Like, I want to know what they're going to do with this now. I mean, we're only, 3 episodes into the show, and he's had sex with his teacher.
It's 3 episodes into the show, and there's already pedophilia. Or as Bill Maher would call it, love.
Well, it's not pedophilia. It's that other term that's like a step above pedophilia.
Phebophilia or whatever?
When they're a teenager, but they're not a full-grown adult.
Right.
Yeah. Whatever.
Ephebophilia or something like that.
I don't understand. I don't understand how she could do this.
It's fucked up.
And it's weird to me how he comes on so strong, and then the second she's like, let's go, he's just like, I'm scared.
All right.
I mean, is that a normal virgin dude thing to do?
Yeah.
Okay.
It is.
Okay. The other storyline we have is Joey.
Joey!
Who...
Come on, Joey!
Who is checking out this dude who got off a yacht because she's working at this restaurant, like her sister and her sister's boyfriend or whatever, and her. They're all there. I think they own it, whatever.
Okay.
Maybe. Who knows?
It's called Cape Side Crepeside. They sell crepes.
They do not.
And sandwiches.
It's not called Crepeside. He's lying to you.
It should be. Somebody needs to... I want to go to this fictional town now and open up a breakfast place called Crepeside. Where we make crepes. Come on. That is the perfect business.
Let's do it. No, but she sees this guy and she's like staring at him and like Pacey and Dawson are teasing her about like finally noticing boys or whatever. Like Dawson's such an idiot. Anyway. Later she runs into the guy because he's playing his violin on his yacht. Mm-hmm. And he starts talking to her and asks her about herself, and she just starts lying her little butt off.
Yeah.
Because I think Pacey was the one who made a comment of, like, guys who get off yachts don't date waitresses.
Yeah, you suck.
That was stupid. Like, I don't think it would matter.
Not the way that fucking Katie Holmes looks.
Right? But she lies and says her name is Deborah Carson.
Yeah, like... It's the worst one ever that I ever saw was, I think the movie was called Hiding Out or something like that. It was an 80s movie with John Cryer and, you know, from Pretty in Pink or 16 Candles, whichever, I can't remember which one. No, it's Pretty in Pink. 16 Candles is Anthony Michael Hall. So yeah, Pretty in Pink, John's Cryer. I mean, Pretty in Pink's John Cryer. John's Cryer is how you... if there's multiple John Cryer, that's how you say it. That's the plural of John Cryer.
Okay.
John's Cryer.
Sure.
It's like how the plural of Attorney General is Attorneys General. Anyway, so just one John Cryer, not multiple Johns Cryer. He's in this movie, and I think he like witnesses a mob hit or something like that. And he goes, he stays with his family, and he's like undercover and everything. And he's at the school because he's an adult, but he's posing as a high school kid. And they ask him his name, and he looks over, and there's a can of Maxwell House coffee, and he goes, Max Hauser. And so that his name becomes Max Hauser. Mm-hmm. And it's a cliche in film where they do shit like that. And that's the worst one I've ever seen until Deborah Carson.
Right. Yeah, like, I would have known right in that moment she was lying.
Yeah.
I think any normal person would.
I would have known it more than I would have known, Deborah Carr, like the actress. Like, I know that, and you know that, because we're in age or a different age. But this fucking, like, presumably 16-year-old kid or whatever, is he really going to know? Is he going to just instantly go, Deborah Carr?
Probably
like a
not.
famous film actress?
I mean, if he
That's an obvious lie.
if he happened to see a million old romance movies, maybe. But yeah, no.
Yeah. Did you watch The King and I?
I love The King and I. So
she's in that.
Yeah. So he invites her, thinking that she's not
Related
a waitress.
to Johnny Carson.
That she is Deborah Carr, who
Son.
Carr's son. Yeah. He invites her to go.
She should have said, "It's so cold in Cape Side. I contracted gonorrhea for the burning sensation."
What the fuck?
That's like a Johnny Carson joke, Hey, I can't do it.
I'm so lost.
I can't do a Johnny Carson impersonation. But imagine that was a perfect Johnny Carson impersonation. Then that joke works.
Okay. He asked where their boat was.
She should have said, "My name is Deborah Letterman."
Sure.
Like David Letterman.
Right. I got it.
Go ahead.
I'm sorry. I can't play. I don't know the rules. She pretended like she's rich, and she's like, "Oh no, mother, we took the chauffeur. Mother hates to sail," or something.
She wasn't quite exactly that prim and proper.
It was bad, and it seemed fake and forced, but whatever.
He's like, "Where'd you go to school?" Choked.
She
picks the most like stuck up school ever.
I wouldn't have even know how to answer that question.
I would have said Phillips Exeter.
What's that?
It's a boarding school. I think it's in Pennsylvania. But I know it because it has my name. Or another name. Don't look me up.
So she showed...
That's right, my name's Mark Exeter.
You're so weird. She shows up the next day, and that's when she tells him all these lies that she goes to this boarding school.
Tell me lies, tell me sweet little lies.
And he takes her to the beach.
Mm-hmm. They have their from here to eternity moment.
Yeah. Oh, they do.
But she won't kiss him.
Yeah. They're playing frisbee, and then he built a town out of sand. What was he trying to illustrate to her about
Dallas, the Kennedy assassination?
Yeah. And
that's some fucking red flag shit right there.
Right? He's very into conspiracy theories. And she's like, "Did I tell you my UFO theory?" And she was going to knock his thing down with the frisbee.
Yeah, the city of Dallas.
Yeah. He tackled her, and they totally coulda, shoulda, woulda kissed. Like, he was going to kiss her, and she turns her head.
Yeah.
She also, by the way, when he asked her, did she have a boyfriend, because she gives off a "don't touch me" vibe.
Right. And
then she did that. Like, what?
She didn't she didn't answer, at least not on screen.
Yeah. So I don't know. So he's like, "What's going on?" She's like, "You should know the truth." And then all she says is, "I'm not Cinderella."
Yeah, that's not the truth, Joey.
I mean, you're more like Cinderella than anything in this situation.
That's true, actually. Yes. You are a wretch pretending to be someone that's worthy of going to a ball instead of poor. The worst thing in the world you can be.
And like you pointed out while we were watching it, like, she should anticipate he's gonna come into this restaurant because it's on the pier where his boat is.
Yeah, and he seemed to like it already because that's where she saw him.
Yeah. So she's there working, and he starts walking in. She's like, "Oh, I'm going on break," takes off her apron and sits down next to Dawson and Jen, who have no idea what's going on.
Right. And then Dawson, displaying how much of a douche he is, how much of a clueless, self-absorbed dude he is.
Right.
I'm telling you, he's insufferable. She's like, "Oh, hey, Deb." And she's like, or Deborah, and he's like, "Hey, what's up?" And Dawson's like, "Who's Deborah?"
Yeah.
And she goes, "I am." He's like, "No, you're not." And like, and then he's like, "What?" And then fucking Michelle Williams, Jen picks up on it enough, and she's like, "Oh, we just know her as Deb," and she's like, he goes, "Oh, do you guys live in New York too?" And he's like, Dawson's like, "What are you talking about?" Like,
yeah, he was being stupid. Oh yeah, he almost blew it for her for sure. And then her sister starts yelling from the kitchen,
Joey,
like, "Order up, Joey, what earth to Joey?" Like, there's nobody out there. And then all of a sudden, the boyfriend grabs the food and it's like, "Oh, miss, would you like something?" Like, he figured it out.
Yeah.
Where was he? Was he spying on them the whole time? Like, where the fuck was he?
I don't know. He had spy tech.
Yeah.
He just knew what was going on.
But yeah, so they all covered up her lie. And
yeah, it's like this entire town is conspiring to lie for her.
And this guy invites her out for the night, and she's like, "Oh no, family Scrabble tournament tonight." Like, what kind of fucking... you may as well say you're washing your hair.
Right.
But then...
And then Dawson is like, "Oh, why don't you use charade?"
Yeah.
It's a good 7-letter word for your fucking Scrabble night. Joe, I mean Deb.
Yeah, Dawson was being a really bad person in this episode.
Yeah. Almost as bad as the teacher fucking her students.
Right? But even though Joey said, no, I have a Scrabble tournament tonight, she still goes down to the dock and, catches the guy playing his instrument.
He's just...
right there in the open
right,
night
he said,
air.
if I can't be with Joey tonight, I mean Deb. The violin.
And he's like, "Oh, I was so hoping you'd come and, let me get your number. I go to New York all the time. I'll take you to the Rainbow Room," he said.
That is what he said.
We'll go dancing.
Yeah, by Rockefeller Center, I think it is.
And she's like, "Oh, I'm not much of a dancer, and I prefer." What was the restaurant that she said?
Shit.
It was someplace that she thought was on the east side.
It's named after the chef, but I can't. It's like not Bruno, but it's like Boule or I don't remember.
Oh.
But it was a famous restaurant named after the chef that created it, which is in lower Manhattan, as they say, the Tribeca area, but like lower Manhattan, right? And she's like, "Oh yeah, I go there. I'm more of an East Side girl." And he's like, "But that's..." And then they kiss.
Well, no, he's like, "But that's not in." And then he stops himself.
He doesn't finish.
No, he doesn't. But it's clear he's caught her in her lie.
Yeah.
But he tries to act like he hasn't. He's like, "Let me go get my number for you." Mm-hmm. And then when he gives her the number, then they kiss.
Yeah.
So he still, knowing she's lied to him, gives her his number.
Yeah, because she's hot.
And then when she finds out that he must have known she was lying, because she asks the boyfriend about this restaurant that he'd told her about in New York.
And he's like, "No, it's in Tribeca." He's like, "And it closed down a couple of years ago."
Yeah.
It's permanently closed.
She just lets the thing go.
Yeah.
Like, at least keep it for, like, posterity or whatever.
Posterity? Is that when you look back on something fondly, but you're also missing a limb?
Prosperity? Is that it?
Posterity.
Posterity. Wouldn't you keep it? I don't know. The first number that she ever got.
Whatever that word you made up was? No, I wouldn't keep it.
Plus, he gave her first kiss.
Well, was that her first kiss?
Yeah. Yeah, because she didn't want to kiss Pacey.
So they all got their first kiss.
Well, Pacey's been kissed because him and Jen have kissed.
That's true.
But, Joey and Dawson, neither of them had been kissed, and now both of them had their first kiss on the same night with different people.
Good for them.
That's weird.
I guess.
Isn't that kind of weird?
It is sort of weird.
Especially because she so wanted it to be with them.
It's almost like somebody wrote this.
Almost.
Coincidental. As opposed to the window into somebody else's lives that we were able to see every week somehow.
Yeah, and then, Pacey gets his first lay. So, there you go.
Yeah.
It's a night of firsts.
Oh, my God. And the teacher catches her first felony.
On camera, no less.
Right?
Ugh.
Oh, my God. Dawson's going to get straight A's in her class.
Right?
But yeah, that's the episode. Just some more horniness from these horny kids.
All on Horny Creek.
Yeah. But Carol, tell the people stuff.
So you can write us at latefee1994AOL.com.
Yep.
Check out our website at www.retrolatefee.com.
Look at it with posterity.
Share the tapes with your friends.
All right, we'll see you next time. Bye.
Bye.